What's up, you guys? We are here for our anchor message for the week. This is our oracle and tarot reading with the wild unknown archetypes and the mystical moments tarot. Basically, we're taking a look at the week ahead and we're getting our spiritual assignments. On Sunday nights, I do the energy oracle forecast for the week, and you should go watch that video. And basically, we take a look at the week ahead and get a feel for the spiritual and energetic weather that we're going to be living in. And so then Mondays, we go deeper and we find out what our actual spiritual assignments are as we look into, the next 7 or 8 days. And I guess I should mention that I am usually filming these after work at night. So when I say it's Monday, I have written our post and posted it on Instagram early on Monday morning. And so it's kind of a late show. I filmed this Monday night and you guys probably don't see it until Tuesday unless you're night owls. So I've been trying to figure out a way to shift my schedule to film during the day so I can get my videos up earlier. But it's been difficult because I started TikTok too. And so, yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. But what do you guys think? Is our, when you see the videos, is that okay, is that jamming with y'all? I know I've got other people on the other side of the world too that see them in different time zones. So I don't know, chime in, let me know what you think. So anyway, on to our message. From the wild unknown archetypes, we've got the eternal child, Gnosis, and Thanatos. Eek! Underneath Eternal Child, we have the Fool. Underneath Gnosis, we had 3 of Wands that came out with 6 of Wands also. Ooh, fun. And then underneath Thanatos, we have 5 of Swords. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, this is like Vivaldi is playing Rachmaninoff. This is Faraday's Requiem. Apocalypse. Well, the good news is I think that, so this is death. This is the archetype of death. 5 of Swords is like conflict in the mind, having butting heads with others around you, having inner conflict, being at odds with someone else's agenda as well. This could be strife, battling, winning at all costs, or even perceiving that you're going up against something where there's just no other way, or you're backed up against a corner even. In this particular scene, it's almost as if someone here's, it's part of us is going through this dark night of the soul, right? And there's part of us is just ready, we're being reborn. But then there are others around us that maybe haven't been on the journey or awakened and on it on a daily basis like we have been, right? So this could represent a situation too where you're also dealing with other people in your life that have been going through levels of dark nights of the soul and dying to aspects of themselves. And so I feel like we're starting the week, just based on some of the themes that were coming up in our weekly energy oracle forecast. Go watch the video. It seems to me like we might start the week feeling a bit tired, a bit burnt to a crisp. Like a big pile of ashes. But shortly thereafter, I feel like our spirit within is just ready to rise like a phoenix. And there is part of us still that because the eclipse in Libra, that new moon, we're starting new cycles, but because it's an eclipse, and so it's asking us to release and let go of certain things in order to accelerate those new cycles. It's we're having to really get crystal clear on what it is about our patterns that are sabotaging us, in our dreams and our potential and our relationships and in all kinds of areas. And so we're getting crystal clear about that. We're dying these layers of ego deaths. And, we've already been going through that too. And so it's we're almost coming out of having gone so deep into the layers of death that now we're climbing up and we're revisiting these on the way out. And so it's like we're mourning an era that has come and gone for us. There's a part of us, there's a version of us that is just like done and not coming with us into this new cycle. Parts of like dynamics that we always had to play this role with people. It's like, no, that version of me left in the ash. Like, get used to this new, let me tell you how it's going to be me. And yeah, I mean, I think that this is what's passing us. And then we might feel like we're continuing on with the purification and breaking down of these shells during the next few weeks, during eclipse season. But it's good. And this is, Scorpio energy too. It's death and transformation and rebirth, right? But also, I don't know, there's that element of Scorpio energy that is co-ruled by Mars, and it's got that warrior sex and violence and the ways those are kind of intermingled, like that sort of surge of like willpower and drive. It's all being kind of activated right now to really process the rest of this sort of death and mourning energy and get the cobwebs out, because this rebirth is coming up within us. It's welling up. We see the eternal child here with the Fool. It's like this new cycle. We're going and we're starting again. And the eternal child is so ready to go. Like itching to get out of the nap bed and back into play, back into creative expression. The inner child within us all is stirring, and it longs for freedom to explore and learn and expand and be curious and inquisitive with life again, and just meet each day with a sense of play and joy and lightness rather than this. Right? And so we're just like, oh, I'm ready to be reborn. But it's important that we don't bypass this. We have to go through this in order to really get here. We got to get it out of our system, and we've got to see it good and clear so that we don't get tripped up, because we have default settings, and it's easy when, the tough gets going, or when we're tired, or when we just lose presence, to fall back into those default patterns. Oh, this is easy for me. This is muscle memory. I have a tendency to do this. And you're like, oh no, wait, what am I doing? I got to stay on track, right? Starting this new path, this new self, this new awakening. So we don't want to bypass, because if we bypass, it's like cheating and you don't study for the test and you haven't been studying all semester, and then you try to cram the night before your final exam so you can't remember any of it, or you might be able to regurgitate it because you might be able to hold it in just long enough to get to class, do the final exam and like skim by okay. But you don't really like hold that energy and that knowledge and that wisdom and embody it and anchor it in like you do if you do it constantly. Like you're always taking in the material and working with it and digesting it and being inquisitive with it. It's funny. It's like the moment something is your assignment, it's like, it becomes a burden. But like now when I think about it, I'm like, oh man, I would love to have like a college class right now where I could just like delve into some like cool history or like literature, really get into it. Which by the way, oh my God, you guys, this is like side tip. But if you go to hillsdalecollege.com and sign up for like a free account, like with your email, you can get access to all kinds of like really cool free like 101 kind of college courses that are kind of specialized in niche, but they're really well produced. And they're really interesting. It's like a liberal arts college, I think, in like Michigan, maybe like near the lake. And yeah, just great. I've been doing like, I did like Genesis through the lens of like a literature perspective. I did, what I'm on right now is Dante's Inferno. There's like a professor that takes you through, and it's really well produced. Like they cut to a lot of like really cool classical artwork and stuff that takes you into the mood. It's not really dry or anything. It's like, I don't know, it's really aesthetically pleasing as well. But highly recommend. All you need to do is put in your email, hillsdalecollege.com. All right. Now back to the original programming. So yes, the eternal child is stirring within. We're ready to get out there and create and be creative and do something new, but also be careful that there's been a warning of angsty energy coming up. And I think I meant to talk about this the other day in our weekend reading where we had all of the Mars and Leo influences. But there was a note that there was a consistency that I was picking up from the theme where there might be like so much of this Marsy energy, that sex and violence and domineeringness, where you're just like ready to pop off or like pop in. You don't know which one, right? So just try to channel that into creative expression. Try to put all that angst and like sexual tension and whatnot that you might have right now and really channel it into like making your manifestations like turbocharged, like whatever it is that you're working on, whether it be art or I know a lot of creatives, tune in, whatever you're creating, whatever you're trying to manifest in your life. It's like put all of that energy that you don't know what to do with, that you want to do something destructive with and self-indulgent, but instead put all that angst into like motivation and inspiration to heal, to self-improve, to transformation, to positive activities, right? So don't waste that energy either, because it's very potent. It's actually a gift, and some cultures actually save it up in order to use it in that fashion. So don't waste your all your angsty tension right now. Channel it. Be a spiritual alchemist. So yes, new starts, new adventures. We want to go forward too, unencumbered like the child. The child isn't like inhibited by a bunch of hangups. Adults are. We've been through this before. We have all kinds of baggage, right? Oh my God, fears from the past. Is this going to play out again? We have new fears every day, right? Like memes. We're like, oh, I have a new fear today. So children aren't like that. They're just like, yeah, let's try this. And they're like optimistic, and they don't really care about the consequences. And we should care about the consequences. We should have wisdom. We should have that earned, embodied wisdom that we're practicing. But at the same time, but don't be held back by fear, lack, doubt, self-doubt, indecision, inhibition. Just go forward like a child who's not afraid to fail, right? It's like you have to fail forward on the way to success. If you don't fail enough, you're not pushing yourself enough to fulfill your potential. So happily pushing ourselves up against the growth edge. What else? Oh, as well, back to that angsty energy. The eternal child can tend to overindulge or self-soothe through addiction if they don't know how to reparent themselves. So trauma, inner child trauma healing could be on the table right now, and avoiding maybe the temptation into numbing or bypassing or falling into addictive tendencies, whether that be impulse shopping or substance abuse, or being addicted to people and certain dynamics and things and roles that we play out. Just be aware of that right now, and like I said, try to channel that into the new beginning. The Fool is like, the point of the Fool card is that it's like the self reborn, going forward, brand new, like unencumbered by the baggage of the past. That's why the Fool never has much but a knapsack on. No baggage. They're not grabbing like the 5-piece luggage set with the steam trunks, right? They have like the little knapsack, right? Because you're not carrying a lot of baggage with you. So let's go forward unencumbered. Gnosis is a deep inner knowing. This is the kind of thing where it's like knowledge gained by lived experience. It's like when Jesus said, you will live the truth and you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. It's like when you have had an experience firsthand with something, like nobody can tell you different. You're like, no, I'm sorry. I know from experience that this is the case, and like if you haven't, then you can't change my mind on this. Like deep down. And I think that there's something pulling us right now, like towards this destiny point, we're definitely going through this portal through like eclipse season, and we're going into this like new timeline, this new life where we can create like a new story for ourselves, and we can be a different version that we've never been before. And I think we're getting really close. And I think that we can all feel something like this deep knowing that like we are going towards something that is going to be of greater fulfillment, of greater purpose for us. We're going towards a new version of ourselves, but also like just this inner insight and revelation is starting to come through, and this awareness, and you're starting to feel guided and led by a force greater than yourself as well. On top of that, we've got, or like underneath it, literally, we have 6 of Wands and 3 of Wands. So again, this is like, we've been through this initiation for like the whole year. And it's been like, we've just felt this force pushing against us, right? And it's just been kind of exhausting, but we've been powering through, we've been persistent. And so right now it's like we can feel that like all this effort, it's like we've been giving birth to our new selves, right? But we're giving birth to something else as well. This dream coming through, something coming through, a change, a shift happening in our outer world. And it's not without having had put in effort and to make these changes too. So that's why it feels even more aligned. It's like we've been doing the spiritual work, we've been putting in the physical effort, and we can feel something about to break through, an opportunity, a windfall, finally seeing the fruits of our efforts starting to come about. Because the 3 of Wands is about being ready for your ships to come in. It's about being prepared. You've got everything on shore and you're waiting for the ships to come in so you can get aboard. Or it's like, what are the ships coming in and bringing you? The 3 of Wands can talk about like successful collaborations and a shared vision of next steps. And so this to me is like, in like the way that this particular deck talks about this card, it talks about this girl standing tall, looking out onto the horizon with this great big vision, and just feeling excited and ready to go to that next level, and feeling like ready to push beyond her comfort zone, and like already having had pushed through the comfort zone. And so it's like us, it's like we're putting in the effort, and we're ready to push past our comfort zone and go to like, you know, explore new horizons and push against our growth edge and, you know, evolve to the next level. And I really think we are, because here's 6 of Wands. This is victory. This is like, you know, that getting over the hump of the middle of the wand suit. So it's like you've gotten past the 5 of Wands energy of conflict and change and transformation. And it's like, now it's like, oh, okay, you're getting some wins, you're getting some momentum, you're going in the right direction. And I love the way that like both of these feminine characters are leading with a blossom in these cards. It's like we are shining the light on a situation where our healing and our high vibe and like whatever perspective, it's like this character, it's like she's come out of the shadow and she's holding up that white rose of hope. And it's like this character in the background maybe still going through and processing this, but it's like, it's almost like the hermit. It's like the experience that we've had from all the depths that we've been through, all the things that we've gone through, all the change, all of the processing of, you know, distant experiences and the healing work we've done has given us a deeper sense of compassion with ourselves and others, a deeper ability to be understanding and to be a witness and be present with someone else. And so our mere presence, having up-leveled our energy and up-leveled our vibration, that has an effect when we go into, you know, spaces, right? So just our presence can have a hopeful influence on others. But also as we tap into the depths of where we've been, it's like that experience is something that we share and we can share with others, and then we'll help them through their shadowy times of their dark night of the soul as well, right, while we're all mending our hearts. Let's see. Eminence, victory is at hand, forward, you know, progress, things coming in, possibly windfalls. And so I would say just be ready if you get resources, opportunities, extra money, like be ready to be responsible and wise and prudent with that and pragmatic. Don't blow it, right? Use it wisely with intention. And if, whatever the form of that comes in, like I said, it could be an opportunity. It can be a series of small opportunities that build up over a period of time. It can be getting a little bit of free time on a regular basis and using that wisely. But pay attention. And yes, wrapping it up, I think the final note was that, it's like using the transformation that we've been through. It helps others. There's a verse, Job 22, I can't remember the exact words, but something to the gist of you will lift others up by the cleanness of your hands. And it's like by doing the work, it's like your frequency is rising. And so like when you hit a tuning fork and like the other notes want to go towards the perfection, they want to change towards that. Same. It's like when Jesus came to earth, he was the first human being who had ever broken through the Buddha level of consciousness and was living at the level of Christ consciousness. And so he was raising the octave of the planet just by being here, right? Just by that frequency being so high, it's like it started to lift others as well. So just consider that as you're processing things from the past and letting that go. Just hold on to what you can use to share with others. Don't let that go. Don't forget about the golden lessons that you worked so hard for. And then also just one more note on 5 of Swords. Mars seems to be stirred this week. So, having that eclipse just in Libra, it also was touching and activating the North Node point, which is in Aries. And so it can be tickling our little Mars bone, which can make us domineering or combative. And it's like, try to err on the side of unity and try to avoid having, unpleasant or negative or combative discourse. Don't create separation. Don't be competitive at the expense of others, or don't feel like you have to do something at all costs, no matter what it takes to get it done, just do it. Like, don't fall prey to that. Don't win at all costs when it's going to hurt someone else either. Like if you're in a situation where it's like, there's going to be a winner and a loser here, like maybe just think of a win-win situation. Y'all have a good rest of your whatever it is, the day, night, middle, afterlife, limbo. Ciao.